Hello everyone, welcome back to Exam Key Point Dentistry. Today we are going to discuss an important exam topic from conservative dentistry, pulp protection. This topic is very important for BDS exams, so watch till the end. So, what is pulp protection? So, pulp protection means protecting the dental pulp from injury during cavity preparation and restorative procedure. So, this is pulp protection. Now, the causes of the pulpal injury. The causes of the pulpal injury include microleakage. Microleakage, where the entry of bacteria and toxin are the most common cause. So, the ingress of the noxious products and bacteria through microleakage, most common. Second one is a thermal injury. So, thermal injury, where it is due to the heat produced by the rotatory instrument, heat conducting through the restorative material. Third one is a mechanical trauma during the cavity preparation. Fourth one is chemical irritants, which is due to ingredients of the restorative material. Fifth one is galvanic shock. So this can lead to the pulpal burn, abscess formations, or pulpal necrosis. Now, the objective of the pulp protection. The main objectives are chemical protection, electrical protection, thermal protection, pulpal medication, and mechanical protection. Now, what is the difference between the effective dentine and ineffective dentine? Effective dentine, where the dentine is vital, it is intermediately demineralized, it can be remineralized, hard and sensitive, and less bacterial invasion, and it should be left for the remineralization. While infected dentine, the dentine is non-vital, it can highly demineralize, it cannot be remineralized, so it is unremineralizable. The dentine is soft and insensitive, that is lack of sensation, and it is significantly invaded by the microorganisms, so it must be excavated. Now, the classification of the pulp protection. The pulp protection materials are classified into cavity liners, cavity sealer, and cavity base. Cavity sealers are of two types: cavity varnish and resin bonding agent. Now, the cavity sealer, it provides a protecting coating on freshly cut tooth structures of the prepared cavity. So, varnish, it is a solution of resin in an organic solvent. So, varnish, it is a cavity varnish, it is a solution of one or more resin, which when applied onto the cavity wall, evaporate, leave a thin resin film that serves as a barrier between the restoration and the dentinal tubule. So, cavity varnish, it is a solution of resin in organic solvent. Solvent evaporate, leave a thin resin film, and it seal the dentinal tubules. So it is a mixture of cobalt resin and organic solvent, and on application the solvent evaporate, leaves a thin resin layer over dentine. This seal dentinal tubules, so better marginal adaptability. Two coats of varnish are considered efficient since varnish is hydrophobic. Now, first coat application where 55% wetting is achieved, and second coat application where 85 to 90% wetting is achieved. So, function, it prevents micro leakage, it reduces post-operative sensitivity, and it reduces diffusion of acid from cement into the dentine. So, it reduces micro leakage around the margin of the newly placed amalgam restoration, thereby reducing the post-operative sensitivity. Second, it reducing the passage of the irritant into the dentinal tubules from the overlying restoration of the base. Now, in case of amalgam restoration, they prevent penetration of corrosion products into the dentinal tubules, thus minimizing the tooth discoloration. Now, it may be used as a reinforced coating over the certain restoration to protect them from dehydration or contact with an oral fluid. It may be applied on the surface of the metallic restoration as temperature protection in case of galvanic shock. So, what is the composition? Composition, it is a natural gum such as cobalt, resin or synthetic resin which is dissolved in an organic solvent such as alcohol, acetone or ether. So, it is a natural or synthetic resin, and it also contains organic solvent like alcohol, acetone and ether. Now, medical agents such as chlorobutanol, thymus and eugenol may be added. Some varnish may also contain fluoride. Now, what is the property of the cavity varnish? The film thickness between the 2 to 4 micrometer, they neither possess mechanical strength nor provide thermal insulation because of the thin film thickness. So, solution is 2 to 5 micrometer and the thickness of the film is 5 to 25 micrometer. Now, the manipulation, the varnish can be applied using a brush, wire loop or a small pledge of cotton. Several thin layers are applied. Now, each layer is allowed to dry before applying the next. When the first layer dries, small pinholes develop. Their voids are filled in the succeeding varnish application to attain a uniform and continuous coating. Now, precaution is, you will remember, the bottle should be tightly closed to prevent the evaporation. Contraindication of varnish. Contraindication: in composite resin, solvent soften the resin, so it may react with or soften the resin. And in GIC, varnish eliminate the potential for adhesion and biocompatibility of the cement. Now, the next one is cavity liner. It is 0.1 to 1 mm. So, cavity liners provide a thin barrier against the irritant and reduce the dentiness sensitivity. So, cavity liner is used like a cavity varnish to provide a barrier against the passage of the irritants from the cement or other restorative material and to reduce the sensitivity of freshly cut dentin. They are usually suspension of calcium hydroxide in a volatile solvent. On evaporation of volatile solvent, the linear form a thin film on their prepared tooth surface. So, what is composition? So, its composition is suspension of the calcium hydroxide in a volatile solvent such as methyl, ethyl ketone or ethyl alcohol. So, they can be classified as thin film liner where it is 0.5 mm and thick film liner where it is 0.2 to 1 mm. Now, properties of a liner is there is no mechanical strength, there is no thermal insulation, and calcium hydroxide are soluble and shall not be used at the margin of the restoration because calcium hydroxide stimulates the tertiary dentin formation, so it should not be used as a margin. Fluoride component may be added to the some liner to reduce the possibility of the secondary caries around the permanent restoration. So, it provides some therapeutical effect, that is a tertiary dentin stimulation. Now, cement base where it is more than 1 mm. So, it is a base which is placed to protect the pulp and support the restoration. So, base is a layer of cement which is placed under the permanent restoration to encourage recovery of the injured pulp. The thickness of the base depends upon the amount of dentin loss. The total bulk of dentin plus base should be at least 2 mm. So, it is 0.2 to it is 0.5 to 0.75 mm thick, and total dentin plus base should be minimum to 2 mm. Now, advantage of base is it acts as a thermal insulator, that is protecting the pulp, and it provides mechanical support for the restoration. And indication of bases are deep pulp cavity in pulpectomy. Now, example of base materials. There are zinc phosphate cement, zinc polycarboxylate cement, reinforced ZOE and glass ionomer cement. Now, remaining dentin thickness. So, this is the remaining dentin thickness. Where between the pulp and the dentin is the remaining dentin thickness. So, more remaining dentin means less damage to the pulp. So, remaining dentine thickness is amount of dentine that exists between the cavity floor and the pulp chamber roof. So, this is the cavity floor and this is a pulp chamber floor. So, this is the remaining dentine thickness. And according to the remaining dentine thickness, there are three kind of prepared cavity. So, in shallow cavity where the remaining dentine thickness is more than 2 mm, that means this is remaining dentine is more than 2 mm, so no base liner is used but varnish and dentine bonding agent is indicated to use. And moderately deep cavity where remaining dentine thickness is 0.5 to 2 mm, so no liner but base is indicated. In case the deep cavity where remaining dentine thickness is less than 0.5 mm, that means this one is less than 0.5 mm, then we will use both liner and base. So this one is liner, this one is base, and this one is restoration. So where both liner and base is used. So if you found this video helpful, like, share and subscribe to Exam Key Point Dentistry. Thank you for the watching. See you in the next video.